How's it going, everyone? I hope you are all good. So in today's video, I'm gonna go over three stocks. The first stock is NEO stock, and then the second stock is Johnson & Johnson stock, and the third stock is going to be Netflix stock. So before we go and talk about that, just let's go and take a look about what we're gonna be talking about in this video. So the first article we're gonna go through is why NEO stock is bouncing back today and was a green day for NEO stock. As you can see, 3.65%. And the second slide is going to be the price action of NEO stock. And the third one is going to be the Yahoo Finance. We're going to take a look to the overall market, the S&P 500, Dow Jones, Nasdaq, Russell 2000. And we're gonna take a look all as well for the S&P 500 and Johnson & Johnson stock, and the reason behind the 3.05% green day for Johnson & Johnson, and the reason behind this green day for Johnson & Johnson stock, and this massive. And then we're gonna go to Netflix stock and try to understand the reason behind this massive drop of the stock price of Netflix, about 25% drop of Netflix, wiping about 89.71 dollar value of the price per share, and gonna understand the reason behind it as well. So before we go and talk about that, just give me a small favor, hit the subscribe button, become a part of the family. I really appreciate that. So without further ado, let's go and start talking about that. So the S&P 500 was a good day, was a green day for the S&P 500. It was a really good day. If we go to the 5 days period, the S&P 500 is recovering from this area and going above the 440 area, which is a good indicator. The reason behind it is that everyone is expecting a good earnings for the entire companies in the S&P 500. So going to the first stock, which is NEO, NEO just like opened around 19.7 and closes around 1976, and the reason behind it is that the overall market conditions. We saw last week the lockdown and the suspension of productions sent the stock down a little bit, and when the news came that the productions of the cars resumed, we saw the stock is recovering from the dips. And going to this article, why NEO stock is bouncing back today. This article is talking about the reason of a mix of macro and company specific news is sending shares of the Chinese-based electrical vehicle EV manufacturers higher today, and investors feared slow productions could hurt NEO's 2020 growth plans. Here we can understand that because of the productions that we are facing an issue in the production phase of NEO's cars, there is like a fear in the investors opinions because of what? Because of the growth of production. So here we keep in mind that there is some issues in the production phase for NEO, so be careful when we are investing, and all the time try to track the news about this stock. So this morning, though, a local Chinese media outlet confirmed that Tesla has resumed the productions at Shanghai Gigafactory. As you can see, let me just Google it. Tesla stock was a green, and everything was good for Tesla stock, and they are going to report earnings today on 20 April as well. As you can see, schedules they expected is 2.27. And we're gonna see what is the report and the surprise as well. So going back to this price action of NEO of today's session, we're gonna see that the stock gapped down a little bit and was trading below the VWAP in the pre-market session, and then right after the open, what happened is that the stock started in a red mood, sending the stock for the first 10 minutes in a downtrend, as you can see in front of your eyes, And really, that didn't last for long, and the stock started to bounce back from that low of the day and tried to get back to the VWAP. It touched the VWAP, consolidated above the VWAP, tried to go with the VWAP, but there was a good support above the VWAP, around the VWAP, sorry, and it held that level one time, two time, three times, and then as a result for that, investors and I'd grab them. So a really good chance that the stock may go higher in the price because this support level of the VWAP, and then what we saw is a green day, nice movement to the top level of the day for NEO stock. So going to the overall market, the S&P 500 was a green, Dow Jones was a green, but what happened is that after hours, slightly we can see a small red movement for the S&P 500 and the entire market after the hours. The S&P 500 was green just like 10 minutes ago. Though I saw it just 10 minutes ago and was a green. Dow and Jones futures was a green. Nasdaq futures, Russell 2000 was a green as well. This is for the smallest, for small 2000 companies out there in the US. And yeah, going to the Johnson & Johnson stock, the stock was green and reported a good earnings, as you can see. Just let me Google it. And the earnings of the Q1 2022 was beaten by 2.93%. The expected was 2.59% and the reported 2.67, and a surprise of 2.93%. And the reason why Johnson & Johnson stock rose today is because of the growth of revenue and the sales. Johnson & Johnson revenue grew by 5% to 23.4 billion. The gains were driven by a 6.03 rise in the company's pharmaceutical sales and 5.9 increase in the medical devices sales as well. And we are here facing a 1.5 decline in the consumer health revenue. They are having issues in the COVID-19 vaccines stuff, but despite that, they really reported a good earnings and a good revenue for the company in the first quarter, which was hurt by global supply chain disruptions, partially offset these gains. We saw a CEO of Johnson & Johnson saying that our first quarter results demonstrate a strong performance across the enterprise despite a macroeconomic headwinds. Scrolling down, we're gonna see that Johnson & Johnson earnings per shares increased by 3.1 to $2.67 per share. That was above Wall Street estimates, which has called for a just per share profit of $2.58. Going to the Netflix stock, as we can see, Netflix just opened. It was like green in the trading session, 4%. And a good day for Netflix, but after the bad news came, the stock dropped about 25% in the price, despite the fact that they reported a good earnings, and the earnings was green for Netflix. Q1 2020 EPS beaten by 20.79. As you can see, the expected was 2.92 and the reported was 3.53, and the surprise was about 20.79. Netflix lost about more than 200,000 subscribers in the first quarter, and this is the result for this massive drop in the stock price. As you can see, about 25% drop of the stock price. As you can see, if you scroll down a little bit over here in this article, you're gonna see that shares of Netflix created more than 25% of Tuesdays after the company reported a loss of 200,000 subscribers during the first quarter. It is the first time that the stream has reported a subscriber loss in more than a decade. And going to this third title, Netflix blamed increase of competition, password sharing, as well as inflation and the ongoing Russian invasion of Ukraine for the stagnant subscriber growth that we are seeing in Netflix stock. So this is that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Until the next time, guys, see you next.